Four. Is it work of four? Hello. Hello and welcome everyone to the 2020 LTC conference. We're about to start. We're going to take the IYW anthem and then we'll start. Welcome on board.
I am ready. I am someone that will make a change. I'm determined. I'll take a step against all odds. Who be strong, impacting my world. And I will make this world a better place in the best way that I can. When tomorrow and forever comes, I'll stand strong. I'll stand strong. We are ready. We are people to make a change. Where the time ends, we'll take a stand against all odds. We will stand strong, impacting our world. And we will make this world a better place in the best way that we can. When tomorrow and forever comes, we'll stand strong. So we stand strong, 'cause we are ready. And we will make this world a better place in the best way that we can. When tomorrow and forever comes, we'll stand strong. And we will make this world a better place in the best way that we can. When tomorrow and forever comes, we'll stand strong. We are ready. We are people to make a change. When the time ends, we'll take a stand against all odds. We will stand strong.
Welcome again, everyone. As the world continues to adjust to the new reality, we at Impact World Leadership Initiative are taking, also finding new ways we can sustain momentum and in our programs and our network. So we are having our fourth virtual conference. Welcome to the 2024 virtual conference ever of the LTC. And we hope that you are ready to take a flight on in this year's program. This is founded by Engineer Akinduma today. In fact, your World Leadership Initiative has been committed to the mission of identifying, nurturing, and empowering young leaders who are in turn impacting the African continent. We believe that we have all that it takes, to change our world. As we take this program today, we have exciting and we have loaded facilitators. We have an interesting lineup of facilitators and speakers who are lined up for the next 3 weeks, and they're going to be impacting us, with so much that would enable us, live our lives with the new normal. And as we begin the day one session today, I would like you to take all the learnings, come with an open mind. We're here, this is an opportunity to unlearn and relearn. And so, before she comes on to take the rules and the code of conduct today, I want to leave you with the parting words. That as young leaders, it is pertinent that we continue that we continue to break new ground, that we continue to think differently, because now that we're in the new normal, we can no longer act with the old ways. We can no longer run our lives and run our script and operate with the old ways. And so that is why we are happy that you are part of this conference. And so we want you to be able to think differently. And I think it's very paramount that we're going to have a mindset, a mind shift, a new perspective in our thoughts, and also to have the ability to take action and change our world. Because you're not only the hope for our future, you are the leaders of today. And we're hoping that at the end of this LTC, you will have all the resources that it takes to run your various Impact Leaders Club. So once again, welcome to the 2020 LTC Virtual Conference. So Sheyi will come up and to give the ground rules and the code of conduct for today and for the duration of the rest of the conference. And I'll be back again to give the announcement.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mrs. Ifeoluku, for that very sumptuous introduction. And I want to welcome you all to today's session. Officially, we are starting our classes. It was nice to have met all of you yesterday, and I'm sure we are all set to have our first session. Remember the rules that were shared yesterday. You are supposed to be in class on time, attend all classes, and you're supposed to have your notes. I have my note here. See, I'm also taking notes, and this is my pen. So just like you, I'm going to be learning so much. I'll be taking advantage of this process to learn so much. So we're ready to go, and I hope you're in a quiet place where you'll be attentive. And before I go on, I just want to plead with you to go to the participants column. So if you hit your screen, you will see an icon that shows participants. Go there, click on where your name is and rename yourself. So write your full name. If you check my name on my own screen, you'll see Sheyi Oladeji, RYW. So go there, and for those who have not done it, that's the ones I'm addressing right now. For those who have not done it, go there now and rename. You see the icon. Once you click, just hold the press on where your name is. It will show you the option to rename. Then when you rename, you just put your full name, your first name and your last name, and then put your chapter. So like I can see Ahmad Juliet, Unical. I can see Ayokunle Abe, Futa, in that manner, so that we will know who is in attendance at this time. So please let us do that quickly. And once you have done it, let me know. Just give me a thumbs up that, yes, sir, I've done it. Then quickly, I saw that a lot of you said you couldn't hear. So immediately you come on, you are supposed to look at your icon. There's an icon that will pop up and ask you if you want to use device audio. You are supposed to click on device audio option so that you can hear what we are saying during this session. Thank you, Stephen, Ian. I see that you've done it. Thank you, Olaboy. So quickly, also, except you are asked to, like I just did, to tell you, send me a chat to confirm you have done it. During classes, I want to state categorically that you are not expected to send chats, so it does not distract fellow classmates and the facilitator. So except you are exclusively asked to, like I did earlier, then it is okay. If not, please do not send chats during classes. If you have to talk to anybody, there's a time for that at the end of the class. Maybe you send a private chat if it's really necessary. So as much as possible, do not create any form of distraction. Also, your videos can go off when the classes start. We'll tell you when to bring on your video so that the audio quality will not be affected for those that do not have very strong network. It's because of network purposes. So at some point towards the end of your class, but for now, still leave it on. I like to see your faces. But when your classes start, you can turn off your video so it does not affect the network transmission. Then at some point, maybe during Q&A, we can have your video on to have more engagement. Also, okay, during Q&A, please listen. When it gets to Q&A session, you either have to send your questions on the chat or you raise your hand. There's an option if you check your icon on more. If you click your screen like I'm using here, you'll see more. And then when you click on more on your screen, you'll see option to raise hand. So when you raise your hand, I will know that you're interested in asking a question. So when you are called upon to ask a question, please be direct. Do not beat around the bush. You know, it's a virtual meeting. So let's manage time, be direct with your questioning. So I think that's pretty much the rules for this class. If there's anything that comes up at the end of the session, we'll also bring it up as well. So please, I can see that not everybody is here. Please remind your classmates, your colleagues to be here. This is just a few of you here. We're expecting over 100 people. So please send reminders to them to connect. And I hope everybody joins the class because attendance is very important. Attendance is very important. So please, let's make ourselves available and let's remind our colleagues as well. Right away, we will now be watching a video. So I hope our IT officer for this conference is ready to play the next video. And I also want to quickly use the opportunity as well to recognize and welcome all our staff advisors that are here. I saw some of them earlier, and we appreciate your time for being here. We do not take it for granted that you are partnered with us in the vision. Dr. Dumaya, thank you for joining again today, and the others in due course will of course recognize you. So Precious, are we good to go so we can watch the next video?
Want to change the world? Start off by making your bed. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, you will come home to a bed that is made, that you made. And a made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better. To pass SEAL training, there are a series of long swims that must be completed. One is the night swim. Before the swim, the instructors joyfully brief the students on all the species of sharks that inhabit the waters off San Clemente. They assure you, however, that no student has ever been eaten by a shark, at least not that they can remember. But you are also taught that if a shark begins to circle your position, stand your ground. Do not swim away. Do not act afraid. And if the shark, hungry for a midnight snack, darts towards you, then summons up all your strength and punch him in the snout, and he will turn and swim away. There are a lot of sharks in the world. If you hope to complete the swim, you will have to deal with them. So if you want to change the world, don't back down from the sharks. Over a few weeks of difficult training, my SEAL class, which started with 150 men, was down to just 42. There were now 6 boat crews of 7 men each. I was in the boat with the tall guys, but the best boat crew we had was made up of the little guys, the Munchkin crew, we called them. No one was over 5'5". The Munchkin boat crew had 1 American Indian, 1 African American, 1 Polish American, 1 Greek American, 1 Italian American, and 2 tough kids from the Midwest. They out-paddled, outran, and outswam all the other boat crews. The big men in the other boat crews would always make good-natured fun of the tiny little flippers the Munchkins put on their tiny little feet prior to every swim. But somehow these little guys from every corner of the nation and the world always had the last laugh, swimming faster than everyone and reaching the shore long before the rest of us. SEAL training was a great equalizer. Nothing mattered but your will to succeed, not your color, not your ethnic background, not your education, not your social status. If you want to change the world, measure a person by the size of their heart, not by the size of their flippers. The 9th week of training is referred to as Hell Week. It is 6 days of no sleep, constant physical and mental harassment, and 1 special day at the Mud Flats. The Mud Flats are an area between San Diego and Tijuana where the water runs off and creates the Tijuana Sloughs, a swampy patch of terrain where the mud will engulf you. It is on Wednesday of Hell Week that you paddle down to the Mud Flats and spend the next 15 hours trying to survive the freezing cold, the howling wind, and the incessant pressure to quit from the instructors. As the sun began to set that Wednesday evening, my training class, having committed some egregious infraction of the rules, was ordered into the mud. The mud consumed each man till there was nothing visible but our heads. The instructors told us We could leave the mud if only 5 men would quit. Only 5 men, just 5 men, and we could get out of the oppressive cold. Looking around the mud flat, it was apparent that some students were about to give up. It was still over 8 hours till the sun came up. 8 more hours of bone-chilling cold. The chattering teeth and the shivering moans of the trainees were so loud, it was hard to hear anything. And then one voice began to echo through the night. One voice raised in song. The song was terribly out of tune, but sung with great enthusiasm. One voice became 2, and 2 became 3, and before long, everyone in the class was singing. The instructors threatened us with more time in the mud if we kept up the singing, but the singing persisted. And somehow the mud seemed a little warmer, and the wind a little tamer, and the dawn not so far away. If I have learned anything in my time traveling the world, it is the power of hope. The power of one person, a Washington, a Lincoln, King, Mandela, and even a young girl from Pakistan, Malala. One person can change the world by giving people hope. So if you want to change the world, start each day with a task completed. Find someone to help you through life. Respect everyone. Know that life is not fair and that you will fail often. But if you take some risks, step up when the times are the toughest, face down the bullies, lift up the downtrodden, and never ever give up. If you do these things, the next generation and the generations that follow will live in a world far better than the one we have today. And what started here will indeed have changed the world for the better.
Amazing stuff, amazing. We all indeed can change the world one person at a time. Imagine what all of us present here right now, over 80 of us, focusing on a mission and a vision can truly do to transform our world. It can be done. And that's what that video has reminded us of. Thank you, Mr. Precious Ayorinde, for helping us with the video play. We will now be going straight away into our class. Without much ado, I will first be doing a proper introduction of our speaker, our guest. She's not a guest, as it were. Can you all hear me? Someone is saying they can't hear me. Can you all hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
Okay, that's good. Thank you. So whoever cannot hear me, please check your device.
It's clear now, I can hear you.
Thank you. You can mute back, thank you. So I'll be doing a quick introduction of our speaker. She's no stranger to the Impact Your World family. Our first speaker for this virtual conference, for this virtual leaders training conference, is Mrs. Christine Bayokusi. Mrs. Christine Bayokusi is the Educational Director at Prime Educational Services Limited and Beth Kiesel Teens Leaders Academy. It means she's sold out to young people like you, like I, helping us get better. She's a member of faculty at the Impact Leaders Academy. She has been a member of faculty at Impact Your World since 2012. Think about that. Since inception, she has always been there. In fact, I sat in her class just like all of you are right now, listening to her class, and it totally changed my life ever since. She has been in the leadership and learning and development space for over 15 years. That is a lot of experience. Ladies and gentlemen, leaders of now and tomorrow, I introduce to you an enigmatic, outstanding woman of worth, a woman I respect for many years, a woman that has personally taught me what it means to understand my personality. Please, if you can, using your icon, let us put our hands together and welcome Mrs. Christine Bayokusi. Mrs. Christine, go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Can you all hear me?
Yes, yes, we can.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You'll be mostly muted, so yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can now.
Okay, so it's good to be here. Shay, thank you so much for that introduction. So hello, fam, how are we doing? Anyway, we can't talk now.
Fine now.
Let's be here with you all. It's good to have you all on board again. This is our season what, Shay? What season is this?
This is for LTC.
LTC.
This is
season,
LTC season 3.
Season what?
3.
Season 3, and our first online LTC.
Absolutely, yes.
The new norm. We are very compliant, you know. Yeah, so I want to say thank you for having me once and again. Thank you, I appreciate it, I do not take it for granted. I want to appreciate Engineer Kiodumaki and his wife, Yinka. Thank you for the great work you are doing. The Lord will bless you. The Lord will cause this work to stand and prosper beyond and, you know, above all of us. I want to thank the management. I want to thank JB. I want to thank Ify. I want to thank Sheyi and my wonderful super precious behind the scenes, always behind the scenes, but doing great things. I appreciate all of you. And my other sweethearts, I can't even see her face here, but I know you are there. Chi, God bless all of you for a wonderful work you're doing. So as we go straight into our class today, I'm Christine Baye Kusin. I'm taking the first class, and it's let me start my screen sharing so we can all see it together. So can we see the screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
We can,
Yes.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the topic is self-discovery and effective leadership. I think I would just, let me open the video at least so you guys can just see my face briefly. I don't want to be on video stuff, but I mean just briefly. So at least someone can put a face to who is talking. So can you all see me? Hello? Okay. I'm going to leave it on for a while, but most very soon it's going to right? Okay, so I'm going to go straight. Who is crossing my screen with the pen? Somebody is playing with the screen somewhere, drawing lines. Sorry, just trying to put some things together. Okay, so I guess we are good to go. So the topic for today is self-discovery and effective leadership. I want you to follow me with my slides so we can run. Please, I'd like for somebody, okay, this is 4:30. So I have how long to talk? My training, my time is what? Hello, who is with me?
4 to 6 months.
40 minutes.
You have 1 hour to speak, then 30 minutes for Q&A.
Okay, okay, okay,
yeah,
good.
well, but once it's 1 hour, we'll stop you, then coordinate the Q&A session right now.
Okay, so for our topic, we are talking about self-discovery and effective leadership. So basically, we have some keywords here that we need to take note of. We have self, we have discovery, and we have effective leadership. every single word that stands out, and it's something that we need to take note of so that we can catch the essence of what this is all about today. So what is leadership at the end of the day? It's called Impact Your World Leadership Initiative. Whatever we do is tied to leadership. So leadership is a key point for whatever it is I'm going to be talking about today. So I want you to just follow me very closely. Leadership is the act of getting someone else to do something you want done because he wants to do it. That is Dwight Eisenhower's definition of leadership. So we say it's an act, first of all. By this quote, we're talking about the fact that leadership is an act. And for you to act, that means you must have a script you are playing out, right? So every one of us here is supposed to have a script. We are supposed to run at our different chapters, doing what we want to do. Every year, we have a plan, we have a goal that we want to run. So that act of running that vision for that year, running and achieving your goal is that act of leadership that we're talking about here. But we're talking about how effective can you be carrying out that whole plan as the leader, as a director, whatever capacity you're operating in. So this other quote says, I count him braver who overcomes his desires than him who conquers his enemies, for the hardest victory is over self. That is by Aristotle. So this quote is bringing us into the domain of the self in all of this, because you are the one who is leading. You are the one who is the person who does whatever needs to be done. You are the one carrying out the act of leading, which brings leadership. So you are a very core part of this training. You as a person, the number one resource person, is a core part of what we're doing today. So this quote is talking about you, your ability to own yourself, your ability to overcome whoever it is you are, overcome your weaknesses, harness your strength, will help you in that act of leadership, in whatever position you are in Impact Your World organogram. So that's what this quote is dealing with, having to master yourself. Some of the questions we are going to be asking ourselves today, or we are going to be answering is, who is a leader? What is leadership? What is effective leadership? They are all very, very different. So the gains of this course, or the objective, what do we hope to have achieved at the end of this course? We'll hope to have inspired personal development experience, an inspiring personal development experience. It will help you understand the importance of interpersonal relationship dynamics and how to improve on it with your team. Better understanding of yourself and others. Leadership is not a personal race. Leadership is about people. Leadership is about getting something done, which is usually most times bigger than you are. So if you're going to do that, you have to know how to work with people, and you have to know how to understand people. Above all, first of all, understand yourself and what you are capable of doing. We hope that at the end of the day, you have gotten that knowledge. So let me run through my introduction slide. Effective leadership starts with self-discovery. So by the time you understand yourself, you're able to lead more effectively, because you are the number one resource you have at leadership. You are the first port of call. You are the first resource you have when it comes to leading or the act of leadership. So understanding yourself is key. So the first step to becoming an effective leader is to have a clear understanding of your own personal dynamics. That is, having a clear or good knowledge of self, vis-a-vis your strength and your own weaknesses, number one. Number two is an understanding of your personality. That helps the leader perfect what is good and improve what's bad. I hope you understand that. An understanding of your personality helps the leader perfect what's good and improve what's bad. The third step is that the second step to effective leadership is to learn the skill of leading oneself. You know, most times we just feel leadership is about every other person apart from you. But what this course is going to make you understand today, that leadership is about you being able to effectively lead yourself first. If you cannot rule yourself, then you can't rule others. If you can't guide yourself, then you can't guide others. If you've not been able to master yourself and take ownership, then you cannot master others and own a process. Because if at a level of oneness, you cannot put it together, we don't know how you are going to put it together at the extended level of having people work with you, or you running an effective team to achieve a goal. So personal discovery and understanding what you can and cannot do, know your own limitations, is key to effective leadership. If as a leader, you have not discovered and understood your own personal dynamics, your leadership will be based or centered on opinions or copy work. So what we are saying here is that leadership should be unique. Leadership should be tailor-made to your personality. It's not about looking at Mr. Hey, how they do what they do, you want to do it. No. Your leadership skills, your leadership journey is tied to who you are, how you do what you do. That's what makes you unique. That's what makes you different. That's the penchant that you bring to what you do. So it's key that you know who you are so that your leadership style will be dynamic, will be your own. You can own the process of what you do, not copy and paste, which always does not give the best results. So self-discovery is a prerequisite for either accepting or refusing leadership tasks. So that is what you're going to learn at the end of this course. So we're going to go into defining the things we're talking about. So what is leadership? Leadership is the action of leading a group of people or an organization, or the ability to do this. What is the this? Lead people. Leadership is the process of being a leader. That is your process as a leader. What you do, your everyday activity of guiding, leading, instructing, projecting, running the vision is leadership. Or we say it is the state or position of being a leader. Then the leader is the person who leads or commands a group or organization or country to achieving an objective. I hope we're able to distinguish between the leader and the leadership. Leader is talking about the office of the person. Leadership is talking about the process or the routine of the leader in achieving the goal or objective of running or managing an organization or a people. So let's go through this quote quickly. Leadership is the single most important factor in the success of any organization at any level. That is how key leadership is. That is how key the process of leading is. They say everything rises and falls on leadership. If it goes wrong at that apex point, be sure that it's going to trickle down. If the leader is lackadaisical, it will trickle. If the leader is active, it will trickle down. If the leader is active, it will trickle down. If the leader has initiative, it will trickle down. So whatever it is that happens at that process level of a leader leading, it will show up at every strata of that leadership organogram. So it's very key. Leadership cannot be overemphasized. You can only be successful at what you know, including being yourself. So these are the two things we are looking at today, these two quotes here. Then the other third part to this training today is every leader needs a team to work with. So we're going to be talking seriously about teamwork, because you can't lead alone, even if you have the people. If you don't know how to bring cohesion into the people working with you, if you cannot bring them together and form a team that is able to work together, you're still going to have problems. No matter how brilliant they are, no matter how good you are, if you're not able to pull them together into one whole bunch to get stuff done, you're going to have issues. So these two quotes is addressing those two areas. One, your leadership, and number two, being yourself. Everything you are good at is something you've been trained in, including being yourself. Some people just feel it's me. No, you have to learn you. You have to master you. You have to assess you. That's why they say the most blessed place is the graveyard. Why? A lot of potentials that were never discovered, a lot of abilities that were never used, deployed, are all in the grave. Why? Because those persons never took the time to learn themselves. They never took the time to carry out an x-ray of who they were, what their abilities were, what possibilities they had, what were their potentials. They never bothered. The only way you can assess and master and deploy anything effectively is when you learn the thing and you become a master at it. I mean, why do we go to primary, secondary, university, we do masters, we do PhD? Why? Because we want to be an authority in whatever thing it is we are running at. So it's quite foolish that we do all of these things in becoming good at something else. We pursue all of those things to that level without necessarily taking time to master the first resource that drives that process. If you have all these certificates and everything, and the main engine that deployed certificate is not together, there is no way you'll be effective. So being successful at being you takes time. It takes you taking time to master you, and that's what this class is going to help you achieve today. So pay attention. So who's also a leader? If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. I hope we are okay with these definitions and this quote. Now, a case for understanding temperament and personality types. This is the crux of the matter. I want to go straight into it. I want you to follow me very closely, very, very closely. So now let's look at what temperament and what personality is. Did you know that the quality of your relationship with people as a leader will determine the success of your leadership? Did you know that? Yeah. Leadership is not all about skills. It's not all about how brilliant you are. It's not all about how smart you are. Beyond you being able to know yourself is the fact that you alone cannot drive a process. You alone cannot achieve the goals that have been set. You need to work with people. Leadership is about people. It's not about you. It's about the process. It's about the objectives. It's about the goals that are set before you. So the quality of how much of these things you know, the personality types you're working with, the temperament of people, being able to know it and how to relate it makes a world of difference to your leadership style and how successful you will be at leading people. So did you also know that you need people to succeed and attain greatness? You need people. Nobody has achieved greatness alone. Nobody has. Even Jesus Christ needed a team of 12 people. Then he had the 30. Even him, excuse me, even him needed a team. He worked with a team. He didn't work alone. So if you're talking about leadership, leadership cannot be talked outside of followership or people being a part of the plan. So it's important to understand people, how people behave, why they do what they do, what are their default settings. When you have that knowledge as a leader, it helps you manage people more effectively. Did you know it's been proven that executives spend 3/4 of their time working with people? It's about what I'm trying to make you understand here, that leadership is about people. Leadership is people-centered. It's not you-centered. So let's take our mind out of Nigeria as a place, because if you want to look at Nigeria's template of leadership, you will miss it altogether. Because what we have there is leadership. It's not. We have a group of people ruling people, not leading. We don't have leadership as a nation, sorry to say. Because if you are thinking about leadership, you can see what we're talking about here. It's all people-centered. It's all about the people, never about you as the head, in quote, or as the person who is at the helm of affairs. And also, did you know that the most valuable asset of any organization, any nation, is its people? It's its people. It's not the machinery you deploy. It's not the technology you have in place. It's not the certificates that you have. It's the people. An organization's quality of delivery cannot be better than the people who run it. It's all about the people. You can change, every other resource can be changed, can be duplicated, can be manipulated, except human resource. Human resource still stands at the apex of resources when you want to get something done. So taking time to understand this key resource is very pivotal if you're going to win, if you're going to succeed as a leader at whatever level you are leading. The largest single cost of most organizations is people. Did you know that visions, goals, objectives, strategies of organizations that make them what they are or not is as a result of its people? This page is making a case to let you know that leadership is people-centered. It's all about people. So if you don't have people skill, you cannot do well as a leader, period. So I'm asking you to find out who you are. And you need to do it with a sense of purpose, with a sense of diligence, with a sense of priority, because it is key. You cannot deploy what you don't have a knowledge about. You cannot be effective with something you don't have a good knowledge about. There's no way you can do it. So are we ready to know who we are? Are we ready to assess our profile as persons? Are we ready to
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
know what it takes to maximize the biggest and the most powerful resource all of creation has? That is you. Are we good to go? I want to hear some answers.
Yes, ma'am, we are good to go.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We are good to
We
go.
are good to go, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Good, ma'am.
We are okay, ma'am. We are good to go, ma'am.
Okay, good. So temperament. Temperament are inherited. They can be improved on. They can be refined, but they do not change. I want that to sink in. Temperament are inherited. They are genes that we inherit from our family, whatever. They can be improved on. They can be refined, but it does not change. Temperament is who you are, basically. It affects everything, everything. When I mean everything, I mean everything. Your style, your personality, the way you do what you do, your temperament affects everything about your life. I want that to sink in. That is how strong, that is how powerful it is. People are basically by nature or temperament or personality different. We are all different. We are all different. Hence, we all act differently. We say things differently. We respond to things differently. Even twins don't do things the same way. We are all different. So if we agree that we are different by temperament, we should also be able to understand that we will do things differently, that we cannot do things the same way. So as a leader, you should understand that two people on your team cannot be the same. It's not possible. We will see that very soon. Temperament is the reason for the dynamics of the human race. We are a complex people. We are dynamic at the same time. We are very complex. So if you want to go into leadership, you must be willing to deal with these dynamics. You must make it a priority to understand these dynamics and this complexity of the human race. Okay, so follow me. Now meet the temperament. Basically, we have 4 basic temperaments. I like working with the 4 classic temperaments. It makes it easier. You can understand. When you understand this, you can now go into all the other models that have been created over time. But this is the basic, and it gives you a very basic sound knowledge about temperament. So we have 4 basic classical temperaments. And that is the sanguine, some say sanguine, whatever works for you. We have the choleric, we have the melancholy, and we have the phlegmatic. These are the 4 basic temperaments. And the colors you see on my screen are not accidental. Those are the colors that are attached to them. These are the colors that are attached to them. So sanguine, we are going to go through. I want you to take your time to read this through. And okay, before I go to the slides, I want you to get a sheet of paper. I want you to get your biro. I want you to rule four rows. Rule out 4 lines. 4, and write sanguine, choleric, melancholy, phlegmatic. Do that quickly. Get a sheet of paper. Rule 4 lines, and then on top, you have a space for the sanguine, the choleric, the melancholy, the phlegmatic. I want you to do that quickly, because as we go through the characteristics of these temperaments, I want you to follow closely, and I want you to write the percentage of yourself that you see there. This is the main crux of this course, so I want you to really follow it. Are you with me?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Yes,
ma.
ma. Yes, ma.
Okay, are we done with that?
Yes, ma. Yes, ma. We're with you.
Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
This is what I want
Yes,
you
ma'am.
to
Yes,
do.
ma'am.
I want you to follow
With you, ma.
each slide after this very carefully. You are to look at it, follow the characteristics, find how much of yourself you think you are seeing there. Make it over 100. Score yourself over 100 based on what you see on each temperament as we run through the characteristics, right? So I'm going to go to the next slide now. So I want you to follow me. So quickly, the first slide we have there is the sanguine temperament or the personality. And what we have there is the personalities. They are what? They are joyful by nature. They are cheerful. They are optimistic. They are passionate. They are charismatic. Are you with me?
Yes.
They are outgoing.
Yes, ma.
They are attention seeking. They are responsive to
Yes, ma'am.
emotions.
Yes, ma'am. We are with you.
They are impractical. They are dreamers. They are storytellers. They are childlike in nature. They have memory for smells and
For
colors.
smells and
They make
colors.
friends very
Makes friends
easily.
easily.
They
Doesn't
don't
hold
hold.
grudges.
No, I don't want you to
Does-
read it out. Let's be quiet. Just go through it so you don't disrupt others. Just read it by yourself. But they make friends easily. They don't hold grudges. They love people. They are inattention. They lack concentration. They are disorganized by nature. They are easily distracted. They are forgetful. They are impulsive. They are reckless by nature. They are very talkative. They interrupt. They are egotistical. They are great starters. They are weak-willed by nature. They are emotionally unstable. They are unpredictable. Right? Can we see that? They're unpredictable. Those are some of their key characteristics. So do we have that? So are we done? I'm going to be moving to the next slide. So I want you to look at that slide and I want you to score yourself. They're unpredictable, they are circumstantial by nature. So do we have all of those together? Can I move on to the next slide? So I want you to score yourself. How much of yourself can you see there? And then I want to quickly say something. As you go through these slides, you need to be truthful to yourself. Otherwise, you won't be able to get the result that you're supposed to get. Be truthful to yourself. Or take ownership of yourself. Don't try to run from what you see. Be truthful to yourself and be willing to take it as it is. That is the first step in being able to actually get this thing straight. Don't lie to yourself. Don't deny yourself. Take it and go for it. That will help you. I just wanted to add that to it. So I'm moving to the next slide. I hope we are done. So the second is the choleric. So these are the characteristics of the choleric personality. They are self-sufficient, they are born leaders, they are dynamic in nature, they are practical, very practical, they are very objective, they have a compulsive need for change. They always want to make a difference. They must correct wrongs, they are unemotional, they are strong-willed, they are independent by nature, they are optimistic, they are not discouraged easily. They are confident. They are goal-oriented. They know the right answers. They can see the big picture, the whole picture. They move quickly to action. They thrive on opposition. They have little need for friends. They lead and they organize. They excel in emergencies. They delegate work very well. They are motivators. They are long-term thinkers. They are hot-tempered by nature. They could be cruel by nature. They are impetuous and they are impatient. So how many cholerics do we have in the house? So I need you to take ownership of your personality and your temperament. Okay, so we are moving on to the next slide. Are we good? Can I move? I want to be sure we are together. Okay, so I'm moving to the next slide. Are we okay with that? Okay, the next one is the melancholy temperament. Melancholics by nature are sensitive people. They are sensitive to the anguish of others. They are analytical by nature. They are deep thinkers. They are very retrospective by nature. They are self-introspective. They are artistic or musical. They are self-sacrificing by nature. They are poetic and philosophical. They appreciate beauty. They are perfectionists with high standards. They are detail conscious. They are neat and tidy. They are organized. They see problems easily. They seek creative solutions to the problems that they see. They must finish what they start. They are finishers. They are content to stay behind the scenes. They like charts, numbers, and lists. They are cautious to make friends. They don't make friends so easily. They are good at listening to complaints. They are patient, so they listen to complaints. They are good with it. They are problem solvers for others. They are moved to tears with compassion. They try not to raise attention. They are serious-minded folks. They are conscientious. They are studious. They are reflective by nature. They are not practical. They are not dreamers. They are self-centered. They are pessimistic by nature. They are moody by nature. They are revengeful by nature, and they are very skeptical by nature. So how many melancholies do I have in the house? Nice. So can we take ownership of the melancholy personality? That's key. It would have been good to know that we are, so it looks as if I'm rushing you guys off the pages. If I could at least see your chance to say we are good, that would help. Or you lift your, can I see a hand making me know you guys are done? I can move on. A hands up. Okay. So I'm moving to the next one, and that's the phlegmatic personality. That's the fourth personality amongst them. So let me read out the characteristics quickly. The phlegmatic is calm and collected. Right? They are quiet by nature. They are witty. They are sympathetic. They are kind. They are inoffensive. That means they don't pick offense easily. They are good at hiding their emotions from everybody. They are reconciled to life. They are not aggressive. They are reconciled to life. Wherever they are at, they are okay there. They are not in a hurry to get things done or achieve things. They take the good with the bad. They are practical by nature. They have a dry sense of humor. They are mediators by nature. They avoid conflicts and confrontations. They are not confrontational by nature. They are cool under pressure. They always look for the easiest way out of things. They are good listeners. They are good at listening to people. They like to watch people. They are compassionate and concerned. They are pleasant by nature. They have good administrative abilities. They are intuitive by nature. They are dependable. They are efficient, but they are also slow and lazy by nature. They are teasers and they can be sarcastic by nature. They are selfish. They are stubborn. They could be indecisive, and they are detached observers. So these are the four temperaments. So if we are good, can I see our hands up? Did we catch it? Were we able to to go through them, and were we able to, you know?
Yes.
Okay. We'd
Yes,
love to see your
ma'am.
hands if you are done, if you're able to actually go through it effectively, because this is the key aspect.
Yes, ma'am, we're done.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, were we able to catch it?
Yes, ma'am. We're able to catch it, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
so now,
we are able to
okay,
catch
now,
it.
We're able to catch it now.
okay, good. This is the next thing
Yes,
I want you
ma'am.
to do. If you feel you are a sanguine in the house, can I hear you say something? Can I hear you say, yeah?
Yes.
How many sanguines do we have in the house?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Good. Celebrate yourselves. Okay, so how many colonies do we have in the house?
Yes, ma.
Yeah, ma.
Yes, ma.
Yes, ma.
ma.
Okay. Okay, that's good. How many melancholies do we have in the house?
Yes, we are here, ma.
Yeah, melancholy.
In the house. It's already showing up. You see, you can't. So, how many phlegmatics do I have in the house today?
Right here.
Good.
We did
Okay,
it.
so I have everybody represented today. Okay, so for you to own a temperament, for you to say this is my core temperament, that means it must be your core temperament. That means each of these you've found like 50-60% of yourself in it. That's what makes it your core temperament. And if you observe it, it's just that we all cannot be talking to be rowdy. Normally, in a normal class, I would have asked, what did you observe? Okay, fine. Can we go to the chat room? I want to see your statement. What did you observe going through the temperament? What did you see? What did you observe? So let's chat. Write out your observations. What did you see? What did you take note of? Quickly. Let me see your charts. So what were our observations? What did we see? What did we observe going through the slides? That because you must learn to fall in love with who you are. She's the only one that put love there. She's loving herself. That's a good one. Okay, this is a calm male. Yeah. So another thing you will also find out is that you see that you have a bit of everything, right? You have a bit of everything. Then you have your core temperament and you have your next core, which is your supporting temperament. So these are the things you need to understand. These are the factors that control, that affect your life as a person. It is key you take time to, after this class, take time, go and do your personal research. This class is not enough to deal with everything. So you're going to have to take time to study these things and be able to understand yourself in depth. You should do a self-x-ray. You should do a checklist on yourself, your personality. You need to know your strengths and your weaknesses. You need to know what you are good at naturally. You need to know where you are weak and where you know you need to just sit down and work on yourself. Okay, now these are some of the things we need to talk about here. Life is evolving. Your personality too is evolving. As you grow, you begin to learn how to take responsibility for who you are. This is not an excuse to sit down and say, I can't help myself. After all, it's my nature. No, 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 that's not good enough. What this is supposed to help you do is for you to sit down, go through this, and then begin to understand who you are and what you are made of. Begin to understand where your strength is, and then you concretize your strength. Then you look at your weaknesses and you begin to consciously work at them to become better at those things. It's not an excuse to sit down and say, you know what, this is who I am and I can't do anything about it. It is not for that. It is for you to see, assess, and make improvement and develop it. If you remember to our former class, we said something about temperament. It can be improved upon. You can work on it. You can get better at who you are, because that is the whole essence of life. As you grow older, you are expected to be wiser and better at being who you are. So it's not for you to sit tight and say, this is who I am. You can become the best of you. Yeah, I love myself too. That is good. And Kiri and me, you should very much love yourself, because nobody's going to love you for you. Right? You should learn to appreciate your personality. You must learn to accept yourself. You must learn to appreciate your combination. Are you hearing me? Am I very clear? Are we together? I want you to wave your hands at me at the chats. Okay, good. Okay, good. Very good. So very clear. That's good. So you need to love yourself. You need to appreciate yourself. Nobody's going to do that for you. The life is your own. The temperament is yours. The personality is yours. It's your responsibility to own it, work on it, package it, develop it, and give back. See, that's serving to the world. That is what God has given you, that He has given to you to serve your world, for you to impact, to reach out. So it's not something you are supposed to hide and be shy of. And if you look at what you just found out, we will see that every temperament has strengths and weaknesses. There is no perfect personality anywhere, no matter the combination you have. Whatever combination you have, however you want to look at it, everybody has their shortfalls. Everybody has their weaknesses. That is why human beings by nature have to connect with other human beings. You can't achieve anything all by yourself, because that is why exchange came into life. What you don't have, somebody else has it. You are not sufficient all by yourself. It's not possible. It's not doable. That is why a Bill Gates needed a Paul Allen. He couldn't do it by himself. It's not possible. No matter how brilliant you are, you may have the brilliance, but you don't have the charisma. Hello, are you with me? So it's not for you to sit down and think, I can do it all by myself. No. So there's nothing wrong with loving yourself, but you also have to know when to draw the lines for yourself. It's also about knowing where your limitations lie. It's also about knowing what you need to work on about yourself. This is where self-development comes in. This helps you sit down and tells you the work that you have to do. Some of us have more work than others. Some of us are gifted more than others. Hey, but let me tell you something. You are uniquely you. Nobody is ever going to be you. Nobody is going to be you for you. You have to be you for yourself. You have to maximize yourself for yourself. You have to package yourself for the world, and you have to serve yourself in the best way possible to your world. Nobody is going to do that for you. Are you with me? Nobody has it all. So never feel intimidated by anybody else. Never, ever, ever do that. So by the time you understand this, you begin to understand that there's no need for competition with another person. What this clearly tells you is that your competition, your race is against yourself. It's about you getting better by the day. It's about you improving on yourself by the day. It's about you achieving 100 over 100 for yourself, by yourself, on yourself, with yourself. That is the key. It's not about looking at Mr. Kunle and you want to compete with Mr. Kunle. Do you know why that is so foolish? Because because you don't have the dynamics that Mr. Kunle has. You don't have the dynamics that Essin has. You don't have the dynamics that Christine has. Christine is Christine. You are Olaboye. You are Michael. You are Augustine. You are just you. Unique, different, packaged perfectly for your word and to deliver what you've been called to deliver. So the work you have all your life is to become a better version of yourself every day. Not to look at somebody else and you're in competition with that person. That competition is never going to be fair. That competition can never have the same dynamics across, but never. So when you sit down and you are comparing yourself with somebody else, that is the height of foolishness as a person. Even the Bible says they are foolish that compare themselves by themselves. The Bible calls it foolish. So you don't do that. Yeah, Mr. Lawrence is Mr. Lawrence. There's nobody else that's Mr. Lawrence. So Mr. Lawrence's job is to become a better Mr. Lawrence by the day. To become the better Mr. Lawrence until he becomes the best Mr. Lawrence anybody can find. The best version of Mr. Lawrence is your goal. And by the time you get to that best version, when your value proposition is at the peak of who you are, my dear, you will draw attention. You will impact your world. You will be highly needed. You'll be sought after. Because that which you have in your personality, nobody else is going to serve it any better than you are going to serve it. You know why? Because you have made it 100% over 100. Nobody will say it like the way you say it. Nobody else. So as a leader who has been called to lead or to run a project, what you owe yourself is to come to the party 100%, is to bring your A game 247. How do you get your A game on? Making yourself A+ all the time. Not looking at somebody else's A, your own A. Make it a plus continually. That is what this table is supposed to help you achieve. So I need to run with my slide. I think I've made that whatever strong enough. So like I said, self-ownership is key. Taking responsibility for where you need to be is key. It is all your job to do. And that is what these slides are supposed to help you achieve. It is very, very key. Taking personality. Like I said, you are a total package, my dear. Open up, explore you, maximize you, and enjoy you. Because you are all you have. Everybody else is taking, in case you don't know. Extra, care all about it. Everybody else is taking. Madam Ifi is taking. Uncle Shayi is taking. JB is taking. Christine is taking. The best you can be of my version is a second-class version. The only first-class version you can ever be is yourself. That is the only place where first-class rules. At any other point is second-class. Hello, are we together? So embrace your dynamics. Somebody says, I embrace my dynamics rather than compare myself to someone else. I will put the energy in becoming a better me. That's what we are talking about. I am the best version of myself. And you must learn to always say that to yourself. I'm improving every day. I'm becoming the best of me the world can have. So temperament affects everything. This is our first interactive session. It affects your learning style. So that means you need to understand yourself to be able to maximize how you learn better. If you look at the characteristics, you can see creativity. Some people learn through creativity. Some people are good with charts. Some people are good with colors. Some people are good with logic. So whatever your style is, understand it and run with it. Like I said, you don't need to copy somebody else. What you're supposed to do is to understand yourself and know how to maximize yourself when it comes to how you learn. Leadership as well. The way a phlegmatic will lead is different from the way a choleric will lead. We will get there very soon. Your temperament will also affect your career choice. If you look at the characteristics, some things are very obvious that are a walkover for some temperaments. Why some people struggle in that? You cannot imagine a melancholy trying to do a public relations work. It will be difficult because by nature they are introverts. While a sanguine would naturally just glide over it, because by default, that is his nature, that is what he does. So you need to understand what your career choice is based on your temperament. It's good to flow with that. It really helps. When it comes to marriage, I mean, you can start doing the pairings in your head. You cannot have a choleric and a choleric at home. That house is going to be on fire. We can do the dynamics. So the way you shop, your fashion style, your temperament affects everything. So temperament and leadership styles. If you look at this slide, we're just going to run through it. I think it's very self-explanatory. The melancholy is a structure-driven person when it comes to leadership. The choleric person is project-driven when it comes to leadership. The phlegmatic is people-centered when it comes to leadership. The sanguine is creativity-driven when it comes to leadership. What do we mean by that? I mean, so let's look at the melancholy. The melancholy believes that power in leadership lies in structure and hierarchy of the organization they work with. So if as an ILC president, you are melancholy by nature. So if you have an ILC president who is melancholy, you really understand the dynamics of leadership. You will see that he's very particular about everything being in order, structure, who is reporting to who is answerable to who, how do we follow procedure. You will see that it's somebody who believes in certain procedures, following a template. This is how it works, and that is what he wants to do. So by the time you understand these temperaments and the dynamics, you'll be able to understand your leader better. You will know where they are coming from, so you don't fight them, because you'll be able to appreciate their sense of leadership. Is very key. That is part of why you are learning all of this. In as much also, the leader will also understand followership based on their temperament. They rely on the system, the structure, the tradition that the workplace or the organization provides. They emphasize efficiency and practicality. They pay close attention to details. They strive to impose order on their work. They are orderly people. Their weakness is that most times with this structure, it could be very bureaucratic in nature. So that is the downside to you as a melancholy leader. I want you to go back. These slides will be made available to you to study it so you know your weaknesses as a leader. So the next one is the choleric leader. How does the choleric leader lead? The choleric leader in leadership believes in competence. Competence. How are you able to do what you want to do? They don't believe in excuses. Get the job done. That is who a choleric leader is. They adopt a logical and strategic analysis of issues. They are highly focused on competence. That is result, hence quick to criticize others. So please begin to understand your leaders and know how they work. They seek objectivity and clarity of intentions. Weakness, they tend to be very competitive. They will drive you because they want results. They want results. Your choleric leader is a result-oriented person who does not want to hear all bamboo stories, just wants to see results. So if you have that kind of a leader in your system, understand what drives them. When you know what drives them, you won't have issues with them as a follower. Then, a phlegmatic leader, are you with me? Are we together? So the phlegmatic leader in leadership believe power resides in personal relationship. They are the ones who believe very much in the people they work with. They believe leadership is achieved through people, not any other thing. They are big on their people. They are focused on the people that they work with. They strive to relate with others personally and win their commitment. They are inspirational. They are sincere and respectful of others for their contributions. They do not want people to simply follow, but they desire a connection. They want cohesive followership. Their weakness is that they tend to be too idealistic. They tend to want to believe everybody is good, is perfect, but we know the world is not like that. So when you're a phlegmatic leader, your phlegmatic leader is the one that will call you up, follow you up. I didn't see you at the meeting. How are you? Hope you are fine. Hope you are okay. They want to know how you are doing. They follow up on your studies beyond just being a director of membership. They are concerned about your academics personally. They are concerned about your welfare. They are concerned about everything that concerns you as a person. Because they believe that if you are okay, if everything is well with you, you will do well at the club. That's the kind of leaders. That is their own style of leadership. They are not so driven about you must get results, but they believe that if you are okay as a person, you will give results to the club. Are we together? So the sanguine as a leader exercise power by solving problems. They are creative. They come up with solutions. They come up with what to do. They are idea driven. They can give all the ideas of what needs to be done. They act with cleverness and timeliness. They live in the moment, hence willing to ignore organizational procedure and protocol. They are good troubleshooters because of their spontaneous and resourceful traits. Ruthless, they tend to be too expedient. That means they don't believe in protocol. They are more like, what do we need to do? How do we get the job done? Right here, right now. Who is available to work with? You know, they don't believe in following due process. So when you have a leader who is spontaneous, who wants to get the job right now, right here, how do we do it? We need to do this, we need to do that, right now, what is available? That is how they lead. They are creative, they are pragmatic, they live in the moment, they live in it now. Let's work with what we have. Let's do what we need to do with what we have. That is the style of the sanguine. What this table is to do for everybody is that when you look at this, you should be able to know who your leader is, how they work, so you can work with them. So when they start their processes, you can understand why they lead the way they do. So you don't go at loggerheads with them. Because in as much as we're talking to leadership, followership is key. Followership is key. So learning temperaments is also for the followers to understand the composition of the leadership of the leader. Who is he as a leader? When you understand him, you understand where he's operating from, and you'll be able to work with him. Because in as much as followership matters, the leader also counts. You must learn to adapt yourself to your leadership style. It matters, it helps. It's not just all about you too as a follower. So are we together? Did we get that? So interactive session, identify the leader. Who are you as a leader? Who are you as a follower? You need to know your structure. Are you structure driven? Can I have that on the chat? Can I have that quickly? Who are you as a leader? Are you structure driven? Are you project driven? Are you solutions driven? Are you people driven? So we need to know that. So that helps you to identify yourself too as it comes to followership and also leadership. It is key. Creativity driven, absolutely. People driven, creativity driven, people driven. So you need to understand all of this about yourself. When you know this, you now know where your strength is as a leader. I'm a creative person. So you allow those who are project driven to also work in their space. Don't hinder anybody else from doing what they do. So for a Donald Trump, for instance, what kind of leader do you think he is? Is he project driven? Is he a melancholy? Is he sanguine? Is he phlegmatic? Who do you think he is? I need that answer quickly. Donald Trump, what kind of a leader do you think he is? Trump is choleric. Trump is project driven. Project driven. Yeah? I think his temperament is a Corsan. He's choleric and he's also sanguine. He's project driven. I mean, get the job done. That is it. I don't know how you want to do it. Get it done. So now let's move to Buhari, your president. What do you think he is? Melancholy, phlegmatic. What do you think? What is his does he even have at all? What do you think he has? For me, he doesn't have anything. Sorry to say, without apology. Buhari is not driven by anything, no. Nothing. I don't think so. Interesting. I guess we are on the same page, yeah. Okay. So you see how it works out. So you see, you don't make the same mistakes. You don't become a Buhari in your ILC chapter. Please, we don't need Buharis in our ILC chapters. We need people who are vibrant, who know themselves, who are able to deploy themselves 100% with their gifts and their abilities. You know, who is your VC? Who is your club leader? So now let's run to your club leader. Who is your club leader? How do you think he or she is? What's their personality? Your club leader. So I want you to do that for yourself. I want you to do that for your club leader. It's key because those are the people you're going to be working with. That's very key. So we are going to move to the next page, the next slide. Now we're looking at the teamwork when it comes to leadership and running a club. Now we're looking at the team aspect of it. So I want you to listen closely. Team leaders and followers. Now leaders, listen. Your team is full of golden ideas, creativity, and ingenuity. Your job is to mine for gold. Your job is to mine for all their potentials, their giftings, and bring them to a cohesive oneness and be able to achieve what you want to do. So like we said, there is no leadership without a followership. Are we together? There is no leadership without a followership. Leadership is not so much so about being a leader as per a position, a title. No, leadership is about competence. It's about influence. It's about being able to carry people along. It's about being able to take responsibility for failures as well. It's about being able to celebrate success with everybody. It's about being able to acknowledge your team as part of the success, not you taking the glory all the time. It's also about you willing to say, I am sorry, I failed here. Because you know what, you're not perfect. You are not 100% gifted in everything. That is why you need a team to work with. That is why in the ILC structure, you see you have your directorate, people that work with you, that are supposed to help you achieve the goals and the objectives. Now, we are going to be looking at that part of that aspect of this class today, building a winning team. So are we good? Okay, OOU, project and people driven. Great. I can see you are beginning, President Nelly, project driven, Unical. So you are beginning to actually break down your work. That's good. Now, who is the A team? What is an A team? I want you to focus on this page. Everybody now, focus on this page. Who is the A team? What makes up an A team? I don't know how many of you have heard about the Agile system of running an organization. This is the Agile template. For you to be an A team, you must be able to share learning. Everybody has something to offer. So when you have your meetings, when you have your strategy meetings or your project meetings, everybody knows something. Do not keep knowledge to yourself because you want to prove a point. The A team is a team that shares knowledge. If you've learned something new, if you know something people don't know, you need to share, because a team's ability, a team's result is as good as the collaborative knowledge that is within the team. So if you know something your teammates don't know, share. So the A team is a team that shares knowledge, that shares learning, number one. Number two is collaboration. An A team is a team that collaborates. An A team is a team that brings all their strengths together and make it one wholesome, and they're able to deploy that wholesome ability, and then they achieve their goals, the objective, and they get the result they desire. Collaboration, they say, is the new competition. Collaboration goes a long way to get things done. It makes the work easier. It's your ability to pull strengths together and divide the work, and it becomes smaller units, and everybody is able to deliver. So collaboration means it's not about leadership. It's not only about followership. It's about leadership and followership coming together, deploying all the abilities within the team and deploying it to get the result or delivering the project part-time. Are we together? The A team is a team that sets clear strategies. They have clear strategy. They have clear goals about what they want to do. They iterate on their goals. They lay it out for everybody to see. The goals are set. They are clear. Everybody can assess it, and everybody can run with the goals. A team that wins is a team that has the same focus, that has the same mindset about where they are going to. An A team is bi-directional. That means there's feedback from leader to followership, and there's feedback from followership to leadership. It goes hand in hand. That is where it is done. An A team empowers each other by their strengths, by their abilities, by pulling strengths together to get the job done. An A team lead by example. The leader leads by example. If you say come early to meeting, you are there on time. An A team is a team where there is trust. We must believe in the project. We must work together. We must believe that we're all working together to achieve the same goals that we need. There shouldn't be distrust. There shouldn't be backbiting. An A team is a team that works as one. Then An A team should be able to embrace failure and sit down and discuss it and be objective about it, take the blames and move on and learn from it. Failure is a stepping stone to doing better, right? Then an A team is a team that have discovered themselves, who know themselves, and they can maximize themselves, right? So this is what it says. Temperament and team building. Everybody has something to offer. Everybody in your team has their giftings, have their ability. As a leader, your job is to understand them and know how to plug them in. Know their temperament, know their skills, know what they are good at, and know where to put them. You cannot put a melancholy to run membership. You're not going to get results. You cannot put a phlegmatic to run projects. You cannot get results. A choleric will do better at running projects. A phlegmatic will do better at welfare. Do you understand me? A melancholy will do well at admin, putting structures to run the organization. So as a leader, you need to understand the temperament of your members and then you plug them in effectively. If you don't understand these things, you won't be able to put the right pegs in the right holes. Are you following me? Then number two, as a leader, find the place where you add the most value, because you are most valuable where you add the most value. Don't say because you are the leader, I must be the PRO. When you can't talk, you cannot be a melancholy and you want to be the spokesperson. You want to be the media person. You want to be this. No, my dear. As a leader, everybody has their limitations. Everybody has their giftings. Work in the place where you have your most ability. You will be appreciated there. And they will know that when it comes to the aspect, our guy at the top has it covered. You're not supposed to be everywhere because you can't do everything. Do we have that taken? Number three, one is too small a number to achieve greatness. It takes a team. It takes a team. As a leader, you must be team focused. You must be team oriented. It is important because you cannot achieve it alone. Now, this is my last question. I want us all to go to the chat. I want to hear your answer. As a leader, finding your place as a leader, is it about the goal or about the role? Can I see the answers rolling? Let's have that rolling in. I'm rounding up. So finding your place as a leader, is it about the goal or the role? Can we have our answers coming? Somebody said it's the goal. From Inara Vivian Sokari, NDU to everyone, the goal, man. Can I have more answers? Are we together? Finding your place as a leader, is it about the goal or the role? I only have one answer so far. I guess I have to run. You guys are not responding. So basically, it's about the goal. It's not about the role. It's not about your title. It's not about your position. It's not about you being the head. It's not about you, I'm the leader here. That is not the issue. It's about achieving the set objective. That is what leadership is all about. It's about being able to channel your team to the place where results are given, where goals are attained. It's not about just standing up and saying, I'm the leader here. Everybody must look at everybody. No. You earn the results. You earn the respect by achieving the result through your team. So let's quickly get that as a leader. It's about goal. It's not about the role. So picking your ILC team, I've talked about that. Your membership, if you want to pick a membership person, what temperament do you think is the best for membership? Can I have the answers coming, please? Okay, I can see the answers. So for membership, who do you take? Yeah, I can see the answers. Yeah, you guys are getting it. The Sanguine will do very well as membership. They are active. They make friends easily. They have charisma to bond. They are people's people. They are out there. Talking to people is not stressful for them. It's what they do. It's what they love to do. It's by default. They can achieve it. Good. So we understand this very well. So for media and publicity too, who would you choose to run media and publicity? Who are the temperaments that you think are going to take that position? Who do you look for? What are the combination? What are the combination of the traits you should find? I've seen people say they are sun male. If you can find a sanguine and a melancholy combination, perfect for media and publicity because they are also detailed. They will take time to look at what they do. Sanguine.
Mrs. Bayakusi, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can you hear me, ma?
I can hear you, Shay.
I'm so sorry. I have to interrupt you here because I mean, you exhausted the time for your presentation. You may have to now take some questions. I know you have a lot to do. If you can round up in another 3 minutes.
Yes, I'm done. I just have two more slides and I'm good. Yeah, I just wanted them to do it so they can actually flow with it. They can understand it. So for your programs and events, you will need a phlegmatic person. They are detailed, they are administrative, they know what to do. For your project and operations, a melancholy, you can get a core male. If you can get a choleric with a melancholy or whatever, they will do perfectly as project and operations. So support a project person, choleric, and also a melancholy or a phlegmatic. Research and admin, put your melancholy and phlegmatic together, you achieve your result you want. So now know this. Great leaders don't set out to be a leader. They set out to make a difference. It's never about the role. It's always about the goal. You alone are the judge of your worth, and your goal is to discover infinite worth in yourself, no matter what anyone else thinks. You are the MD, CEO of your life. You are the chief brand strategist of your life. You are the chief personality drive of yourself. Sell yourself at the highest cost. Never look down on yourself. Doesn't matter what somebody else thinks. What you think is the biggest thing. Because if you think you will, you can. If you think you will not, you won't, no matter what anybody else thinks. Final words. I believe that small actions multiplied by many people who bring their A game always can make a genuine difference in this world. I believe the Impact Your World team in all their campuses come together, put their strength together, bring their A game to their campuses. They can make a genuine difference in all the campuses. You can affect your world indeed. You can make a difference, you can make an impact. Thank you very, very, very much.
Thank you so much, Ma, for that exhilarating presentation. And I must say that your class has been very interactive, as you can see in the comments that are coming in. They are also appreciative. Everybody's saying an amazing session. Someone is saying she's jumping or he's jumping, very interactive, mind-blowing. Thank you very much, Ma. Fantastic comment. Thank you so much, Ma. So very quickly, guys, I want to take the 10 or 15 minute window that we have left to quickly take your questions. You know, the presentation is very important, but what's also important is the questions you may have. So if we can stop for a moment with the comments on what we learned, I would like to quickly take questions. So let us please hold on the charts. If you can all hear me, please hold on the charts. Thank you very much. Thank you. So we'll now take questions. So if there's anyone who has a question, I will take you on the audio. You can ask your question on the audio and I will take you, but your question has to be quick and direct. So very quickly, is any hands raised? I'm checking. Okay, I can see Akin Awonu Omotola. Precious, can you please unmute Akin Awonu Omotola? She has a question. I can see her hands raised very quickly. And also, I can see Nelly's hand raised and Taiwo. So we'll take those three quick ones. I'm sure Mrs. Christine can hear you. Precious, please unmute them. Thank you.
I can hear.
Yeah, Omotola, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So go ahead, quick, precise. Go ahead with your question.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I just want to ask if there's a difference between personality and temperament. And if there is, I would like to know the difference between personality and temperament.
Okay, thank you very much, Omotola, for your question. We'll take two more questions. Sorry, Ma, before you respond, so we'll just make it quick, then you can respond at once. So can you unmute Nelly now? Then we'll take the question. So the first one is there a difference between personality and temperament? Then we'll take the second question quickly. Nelly, go ahead, please.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Ma, for that interesting lecture. So, Ma, I would like to know how exactly do we work with difficult executives or people that probably had the fire, the zeal to work in IRC, but after a while they just go very cold, and maybe they have like a very serious position in the club, and you really don't know how to inspire them or motivate them, and there's just this large gap, and you don't know what to do. How do we work with those kind of people?
Thank you very much. I do work with difficult team members because of their temperament. So we'll take one last question, Matt, then you can respond. So we'll take Joanne Moye. Joanne Moye from Uniport. Precious, please unmute her. She's been raising her hand. Very quickly. Is she up, Joanne? Okay, let's take Taiwo then. Taiwo.
Okay, good afternoon. Good evening, sorry.
Is this Joanne?
Good evening. Mine is not a question. I just wanted to find out if we are going to be able to get the slide. And then
Yes, it will be sent to your email, yes.
Okay, and then I missed the choleric slide, so I've not really been able to figure out my own temperament.
Yeah, we'll get back to you on that. We'll get the slides to you. Thank you. Does Taiwo have a question? Quickly. Please unmute Taiwo. Taiwo, who are here for you? Taiwo, go ahead.
Hello, thank you very much. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk right now. Now, my question is just that, is it making sense for us to support a phlegmatic type of person to lead in an organization rather than supporting a sanguine or a choleric type?
Thank you very much, Taiwo, for that question. Mrs. Christine, you have the space. Please, you can respond, ma. Go ahead, ma. Can you hear me, ma? You can respond to your question, to the questions, ma. There are 3 questions. There's one on personality.
I started already.
Okay, go ahead, ma. All right.
Yeah, I said there's no difference between temperament and personality. It's just semantics. They are synonyms of each other. Just like you say she and her, it's the same thing. You're talking about the female gender. So it's the same thing. It means the same. Okay? How do you deal with difficult members? Is it because of their temperament? Yeah, people are essentially different from you. People will not think the way you think as a leader, and you have a melancholy member. You know, of course, your parts are different. The phlegmatic member who is slow, takes his time. You are a choleric, you want things done. What it means is that as a leader, you must be able to articulate people in their personality once you meet them. It's very key. That way, you can understand their default setting. Then you will know how to deal with them. A phlegmatic that is not whatever, is not very as fast as you, you know how to get them to do whatever it is they need to do. Put them in a place where they can function and function properly. Don't try to make them become you. Don't try to make them run at your pace. They are not you. Find out how they are and what they can do and work with them from their place of strength. Because people will forever remain who they are. But your job as a leader is to know how to harness their strengths. We shouldn't focus so much on weaknesses because that is one thing humans do. We forget the 9 good things. We focus on just the one bad. And that one bad becomes our obsession. Look for their strength. Look for what they love doing. Put them there. When you put them in a place where they are comfortable to work, you won't have issues with them. And then, if you also, as a leader, you're not a good people's person, find somebody in your team that has that ability. Let them deal. We're talking about the fact that as a leader, you cannot do everything. That's why you have your a leader who does not know how to really deal with people on a one-on-one, which is a big weakness because leadership is about people. Then get a director of membership who can do that for you. Your team is supposed to help you in the place of your own weaknesses. That is how it works. That is what the A team does. The A team is able to help, balance strengths and weaknesses in the team. That is why you as a leader, you must be willing to stay in the place where you are strong. Don't try to be everything because you know you can't. So find out from your immediate team who can handle people better, empower them to do it. If you can notice stuff, call the membership person. I noticed about Susan, so can you please follow up on this person? These are my observations. Please find out what's going on and get back to me. I think it will be a better way. So you are actually following up your membership through somebody else's strength who can do the one-on-one. You are at the backstage where you are getting the job done. Do you understand? So it is doable. You don't have to be the face to the members one-on-one. You work through your directors. That is how it works. Then the other question is, does it make sense to support a phlegmatic? Hey, let me make a correction here. The 4 temperaments can make perfect, excellent leaders. In fact, in my own personal opinion, this is mine, I'm not saying it's yours. You know, we always have it's a choleric, it's a concern. You know, people don't think it's the best leader right now America has ever had. The fact that concern is the worst so far. So, what was Obama's temperament? Obama was a phlegmatic leader. And he is one of the most dynamic leaders America has ever had. So, you can support any leader. Any 4 of the temperaments can make perfect, excellent leaders. So, every single person who stands as your leader can be supported, can be worked with. Your own job as a director under a leader, take time to understand your leader. Understand his leadership style. From what kind of leader is he? And a lot of you did that. So if you know that your leader is a phlegmatic, he's a people-driven person. He might not be the project-driven person. He might not be in his attitude, but it's not about you trying to prove a point that you can do things better. It doesn't work that way. The choleric has its weaknesses. The phlegmatic has its weaknesses. The melancholy has its weaknesses. So also the sanguine. So also everybody has their strength. So the phlegmatic as a leader comes to the table with all of his strengths that he has. He is a very stable person. He's a very focused person. So it is wise that as a director or as a member that you learn to support your leader, because nobody is perfect. Everybody has a place of weakness and place of strength. So you cannot say it doesn't make sense. It makes sense to support everybody that leads. So understand their style of leadership and then know how you can support them from your own standpoint in your position in the team or in the club. I hope I've been able to answer you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ma, for the responses to those questions. I wish we could take more questions, but we are strained for time. And we must really appreciate you for always responding to our calls to come and do presentations like this for us. We can't appreciate you enough as the RYW Impact Your World family. We are so grateful. And I'm sure, as you will see in the comment section with the students, they are so excited. You have really enlightened them about the confusion they've had about who they are. You have made everybody comfortable in their temperament. I mean, the take home for me is, it is not about the role, it is about the goal. And once we get that, anytime, the work is simplified. It is simplified. A lot of the obstacles will be taken off the way. That is my take home. That is one thing I have held on throughout the session that you have spoken. And I'm so excited that you have again lit our hearts with wisdom on knowing who we are and getting comfortable with who we are. Thank you so much, Ma. We are so grateful. Thank you very much for your time. Please, if we can, let's share a round of applause on the icon for Mrs. Christine Bayokosi.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you so much. I see you guys going forward to do great things. I celebrate you ahead of time. Thank you all so much. Thanks to the Impact Award team. You guys are the best.
Thank you, ma. Thank you, ma.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma.
Okay.
So, guys, we have been an amazing, amazing set of students. This is our first session, and I know it's been a bit of itches here and there. We'll now shortly be taking announcement from Mrs. Ife Oluku on going forward for our next class. She'll come up very shortly to announce or share with us any news we need to be informed about. As you know, she's our communications officer for this LTC training. But before she comes up, I want to quickly make some points based on observation. Guys, if you have to turn on your video going forward, please make sure you are well dressed. Guys, we are leaders. I know we're at home. A lot of us are comfortable. I saw some of you were on very casual wears. Please, let's be properly dressed. I'm in my house. I'm wearing my native with my cufflinks. In fact, I have my perfume on, but unfortunately, you guys can't smell me. You can't know how well my perfume, smells, as it were. But please, guys, let us dress decently. If you have to turn on your video, please be properly dressed. Then, before we go off shortly, if you have not done the name and chapter correction, please do that now. I can see like Ogudinro, Onidamola. I don't know which chapter you're from. So please put your chapter. Let us know where you are from. If you are from NDU or FUTA or Foyer, let us know. Put your full name and your chapter so we can capture that in the registration or process that we are taking note of. I will now at this point turn over the space and the lectern, the virtual lectern, as we will say in Toastmasters, to another fellow Toastmaster, Mrs. Ife Oluku, our communications officer. Mrs. Ife, please go ahead.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mrs. Christine, for yet another insightful session today. As always, there's always a lot to glean from your sessions on temperament and effective leadership. But leadership is crucial in every aspect of life and in making decisions. And this is the best opener that we've had for the 2020 virtual LTC class. And so as we round up for day one, please be reminded that the submission of the assignment is a prerequisite to the collection of your certificate. So if you haven't done so, please ensure that you submit your assignment using the parameters that have been stated earlier. The theme of the 2020 LTC virtual class is Leading in Crisis, and we still have more conversations on, we're taking self-discovery and effective leadership today. So we have conversations on overcoming mental blocks to success. We still have other conversations on patriotism, running the ITC club effectively, how you can also fund your LTC and then using tech effectively. We have an amazing lineup of speakers lined up for the next 3 weeks. And I would also want to implore you to be prompt for day 2 session tomorrow at 4 p.m. And again, we're going to be here again for another, to round up this model on the Foundation for Leadership on Sunday at 3 p.m. Please take note of the times again. We're meeting here again tomorrow at 4 p.m. and on Sunday at 3 p.m. And also, I'm sure some of you may have also seen the e-flyer and the publicity we did on our Impact Live program that's coming up on Sunday at 6 p.m. We have also another amazing speaker and the person of okay, I'm going to remember her name. That just hit my mind. We have another exciting speaker. I'm going to probably mention her name before the end of the announcement. We have another speaker. So if you want to join us at 6 p.m., we're going to share the details again of okay, Dr. Henrietta. We have Dr. Henrietta. She's a faculty member, and I'm sure if you've taken her class before, there's a lot to glean from her session. She's very vast in entrepreneurship. She's going to be taking us on a session on how you can start a business in crisis. So also mark that in your calendar. It's going to be a Zoom session at 6 p.m. on Sunday, and another Zoom link will be provided for that class. And if you haven't subscribed to our newsletter, Impact Award newsletter, if you want to do that, we usually publish Impact Award newsletter, and then we shine the spotlight on all our alumni, my members that are doing great works, all over Africa and other parts of the world. So also look out for our monthly newsletter. I think that will be all for today's announcement. Do enjoy the rest of your evening as we take the Impact Award anthem.
I am ready. I am someone that will make a change. I'm determined. I'll take a step against all odds. Would be strong, impacting my world. And I will make this world a better place in the best way that I can. When tomorrow and forever comes, I'll stand strong. I'll stand strong. We are ready. We are people to make a change. We're determined. We'll take a stand against all odds. We will stand strong, impacting our world. And we will make this world a better place in the best way that we can. When tomorrow and wherever comes, we stand strong. So we stand strong, 'cause we are ready. And we will make this world a better place in the best way that we can. When tomorrow and wherever comes, we stand strong. And we will make this world a better place in the best way that we can. When tomorrow and forever comes, stand strong. We are ready. We are people and make a change. We're determined. We'll take a stand against all odds. We will stand strong, impacting our world.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, guys. And we hope that you enjoy, have a good evening and enjoy the night. And see you tomorrow. Yourself, guys, please do that so that when you come in the next class, you know I'm online. You're not supposed to be sharing your name on the chat section. All right. So thank you so much, guys. It's been nice being you. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Thank you. Bye-bye.